Well, let's talk a little more then about the Green Party manifesto. With me now is Darren Johnson from the Green Party. Darren, thanks for coming in. OK, lots of comments online, which I noticed on the website about policies. One question said this very clearly. If the Green Party were in government, when would the deficit be paid off? Do you have a date in mind, or how would that happen? We
are committed to reducing the deficit over this term of Parliament, but not necessarily over this next term of Parliament, but not necessarily paying it off. And we've got to look at how we tackle the deficit. I think we're coming at it completely the wrong end under this government. We're seeing public services being devastated, the impact that that's having on society. Whereas the Green Party is saying, well, let's actually look at it from the other end and ask the wealthiest individuals, ask those large companies to pay more, and let's raise more tax. That's why Natalie unveiled policies today for a wealth tax, for an increase in the top rate of income tax to 60p, for a Robin Hood tax on banks' financial transactions, which is already starting to take off elsewhere in Europe. And that makes far more sense than slashing public services and doing so much damage at a time when we really do need to be investing. That's why we're talking about investing in building new council homes, investing in a green fund, and a £35 billion green fund over the next Parliament was unveiled today, really starting to get serious about investing in renewables, investing in a national home insulation programme, and getting serious about flood protection as well, because climate change is with us and we've got to get serious about it. OK, so you mentioned quite a lot of your central policies there. Given that you mentioned housing, could I ask you what you think of the thought today that, you know, housing association tenants should be able to buy their homes? Do you think that's a good initiative or not? I think it's going in completely the wrong direction. The right to buy has really led to an erosion, a loss of social housing, and a time when we desperately need more. So to force housing associations to do this would be wrong. But Greens also want to see an end to the automatic right to buy as well, because we need to be keeping social homes as social homes. We have a housing crisis. Because I noticed that you're talking there about providing 500,000 new social homes, building 500,000 new social homes for rent by 2020, I think. Yes. So you've priced that at what kind of level? Is there a kind of ballpark figure on that? That would be increasing the current social homes budget to £6.5 billion. Money for that would be raised partly through phasing out the tax breaks for private landlords, which we believe that money could be much better used. No, but what we need to do as well is lift the borrowing cap on local authorities to allow them to borrow to build homes. Most European countries actually treat borrowing for house building differently than for general public debt. That makes sense, because local authorities have a tangible asset, they get a guaranteed income from it, and it seems ridiculous to be stopping local authorities. And many councils actually want to start building council houses again, but we're only seeing them in the hundreds rather than the tens of thousands and the hundreds of thousands that we need because of that borrowing cap. When you mentioned earlier in your list there the top rate of income tax, taking that to 60%. I'm just wondering how you sort of, you look at the balance of what is attractive to people, especially high earners who want to come and work here in whatever capacity, and really whether the gain you get in terms of your income from that kind of level is worth that, in terms of the fact you may put some people off from coming here. So where do you draw the line? Well, the estimates are to raise an extra £2 billion in tax revenue. That's not huge overall, but I think it sends out a very important signal about the sort of society that we want. You look at academic research that's taken place, and overwhelmingly it finds that those countries that have a smaller gap between the richest and the poorest tend to be the most successful societies, tend to have healthier people, less crime problems, less drug problems, and so on. So actually a more equal society works for everyone. And so we're sending out a very, very clear message that we do want to reduce the gap between rich and poor, and they vote for the Greens, as well as our climate programme and our protecting the NHS is a clear vote for reducing the gap between rich and poor. Darren, good of you to come in. Thank you very much for talking to us. Thank you. Darren Johnson there from the Green Party. And we'll have more for you in a few minutes, because we'll be joined by the Lib Dem Danny Alexander, who's been